Hello, welcome to The Financial Operator. I am your host, Jen Pfizer, owner of MKB CFO and Bookkeeping, and I'm excited to have our guest today. He is from all the way in Australia, so not our normal guest. So he's probably got way cooler animals over there that he can play with. But Wes Towers is here today. So Wes, first of all, thank you for being here. And second,
pleasure being here.
Yeah. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, you mentioned that we've got some animals over here in Australia. It's curious. There's lots of animals that can also kill you as well. Eat you, crocodiles and so on, and lots of snakes and spiders and creepy crawlies. So
it's the one that scared me.
Look, I'm a website designer developer at heart, so I run a digital agency. Have done so for over 20 years now. So it's been a wild roller coaster ride at different times for most businesses. Particularly starting out, I had no idea how to run a business. I didn't know how to do invoicing or bookkeeping or put a proposal together, do a client meeting, any of this stuff. I had a skill set, like a lot of us founder-led businesses. We start with a skill set and we learn and evolve as we go. So that's kind of how it started out, and thankfully made it through those hard first few years and figured out how to hire a team and all of that, and it's been exciting, and particularly the last few years with technology advancements, things are changing fast, and it's keeping me on my toes. So pretty exciting times.
I know you have to be at the front edge of all of this because things are moving so fast right now. But how long have you been in business?
Yeah, it's 20. So the first few years that I was kind of in business, kind of just moonlight freelancing type thing. So I had when I started out, I just did when I started the business, I started out just in the evenings for the first year or maybe 18 months until I dropped my day job to 3 days a week. So it was a part-time business then. And so it's always a bit fudgy how long I've been in business, because do you count that or not? But from that very beginning, it would be 24 years, something like that. But yeah, as I say, the first couple of years are a bit fudgy, whether it was a business or not, or whether it was just me trying to make something.
But you have been in 24 years. That's a lot of different renditions of the tools and the things that and probably what your clients ask for.
Oh, wow. It's changed to think back even when I started in the industry. So my first job in a marketing company in Sydney, it was the year 2000, which was the Olympics year, exciting times to be there. But anyway, they were an award-winning marketing company. I found them at the back of an awards book, their name. And so I called them and got a job there. But they'd never designed a website. So to think about marketing these days, most of us think about digital websites and social media. And a lot of this stuff didn't even exist. And so it wasn't the norm for every business to have a website back then. But they won a project. I think I was there only 3 or 4 months. They won a project to design a website. I don't know how they won it, but they said, right, you're the young guy, better figure out how to build this site. So I did figure that out, and I really enjoyed it, the technical and the creative blend. That's kind of how I am. So I loved it and became their web guy. And from there, by the time I started my own business, that's where I wanted to take it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when did you go out on your own?
Yeah, I'd only been working, got to do the math now. So it was only really a few years working for other people, realistically. Maybe it was 4 years or something like that. So 5 years. Got to do the math now. But yeah, not long. And so that was pretty naive. And at that time, I'd been in Sydney, but moved to Melbourne. So moved to Melbourne and not long after started a business. So I had no network even. So for most of us, we realized when we're starting out in business, one of the easiest ways to get business is word of mouth. Well, that's really difficult if you have no network, because you only just put your feet on the ground in the region. So that just made things even more difficult. So, but yeah, getting through those tough times.
Yeah, when it's, what is the saying? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And this is where that comes into play, right? Like,
yeah.
And even just to get work, you got to know some people, or you need to be willing to go meet some people.
Yeah, and even just even going to those first few meetings, I was just so nervous, sweating, sweating so badly, and I realize now that the people were gracious and kind, and I didn't need to be concerned. People are good people, for the most part. So they realised I was a young person trying to start out and find my way, and I was confident in my skill set. I knew how to do the work and do great work. I just didn't know how to present and so on. So I figured all that out.
So, I got a short bio on you before this episode, and cool. It talked about how you got a business valuation basically a couple of years ago, and it was less than you may have anticipated. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So so it was probably 4 years ago now, and so it was all the normal numbers that they look for when valuing a business were looking good. Been around a long time, consistent workflow, recurring, all of that stuff. But one of the big factors he revealed was the rise of AI and the potential for it to disrupt not only my business but the whole industry. And so he just said, look, people don't buy uncertainty to this level. There's always some level of uncertainty when you buy a business. Are the clients going to remain in a business like mine? But yeah, he just said that the level of disruption, because it was 4 years ago, and it was just when we were everyone was starting to realize, hey, this could be a massive disruption. So it was a real wake-up call for me to realize, hey, I've got to shift some things in business. I've got to stay on top of this, because if I don't, this guy's going to be right, and the business will disappear. So, I reworked a lot of the standard operating procedures. I really leaned into my team. They're smarter than me in their technical fields. So, I've got that advantage of when it comes to technical and AI and so on, I can call upon the people around me to figure out, hey, how do we improve things? Because up until that point in time, the standard operating procedures were all how I believed things should be done and what I felt was the best process. But this was, things were getting out of hand. Things were changing so fast, and it was outside of one person's knowledge. You mentioned, AI and needing to stay on top of it. It feels like, to me, even the experts, the creators of these systems, they don't have a full grasp of everything that's happening, because they only know their silo of what's happening. So the real cutting edge people still have gaps in knowledge. So I need to be aware of that, gaps in my own knowledge, and drawing out the ideas and the knowledge out of the people around me, which has been a great learning for me as a leader.
Mm-hmm. I've heard some statistic, and I am going to butcher this, so anybody that's listening, do not take this as the absolute fact. But I've heard something about civilization itself progressed to a certain degree from the beginning of time until 1950 at a certain rate. And then since then, it has 100x the amount of times that we have our knowledge and technology and things that we have at our fingertips in the last 50 years has been dramatically different than it was in all of time. And we are only getting faster, right? Because AI is now just telling us and doing things that used to take months or years to be able to do. And on the one hand, it's super exciting because you can cut your time back. But on the other hand, it's how do you learn it at a pace where you're actually keeping up with what it can do? And it's kind of a crazy thought process to go through, because even in the, probably 5 years or so that AI has been somewhat mainstream. I don't remember when ChatGPT started.
Yeah, probably 5 years ago. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Everybody was using it like a Google, let's ask these questions, and suddenly it can write a paper or something. But it's dramatically different even the last couple of years what you can use it for compared to what it first came out with. So what are you seeing with AI, and like what do you envision 3 years from now might look like?
Yeah, well, it's just incredibly difficult to stand out in the noisy place from a marketing standpoint, because it is so easy to create content at scale, at mass. We see videos that look really realistic. They might be of people long past, and it's kind of fun to see these videos, but it also is terrifying because we don't know that we can believe what our eyes are seeing. We've got an election coming up here for our state coming up soonish, and there's been real concern around the fake videos getting around with our politicians perceived to be saying things that they simply never said. So that's creating massive headaches from a political standpoint, but it also creates headaches from a marketing standpoint. We've really got to find new ways to stand out in this noisy marketplace, because people can create content super fast and we don't know that we can believe it. So building trust in your marketing message, or building authority and trust in the industry that you serve, so that you are known and you have a really strong reputation, is, I think, where it's all at. I mean, we've been running all sorts of different advertising campaigns and marketing and so on, and we could get clever with our sales funnels and these ways in which we could entice people to become part of our world. So maybe we'd give away a free ebook or resource to gather someone's contact details to further market to them. But these days they're getting that information at their fingertips, because they can use AI and get the exact answer to whatever they want, whenever they want it. So they no longer need to download your ebook, for example. So that strategy is more difficult. So the information is out there, but it's just about figuring out who you truly are and who you really want to serve, and what sets you apart, what makes you distinct in the world, and what humanizes you as a business and a brand, and having that message out there in the right places so you can still be found and build that know, like, and trust factor to a degree. They still, for us, because we're working with, construction trades people, and they're not impulse buys. Whatever they're selling is not an impulse buy. It's usually a significant investment sometimes, if they're building constructing a home, for example. So they're going to want to have a human conversation. So it's, for us, building marketing systems that create human connections, because that's where the true value is, I think. So anything we can do to create a human connection is, in my view, the goal for our marketing these days.
Mm-hmm. How are you doing that, though? Because you just mentioned, like, videos can be created and you don't even know if that's the real person that's doing them. So how do you create that trust when everything is inherently untrustworthy?
Yeah, I know. That's part of the challenge. And so certainly for the most part, for the clients we're serving, they're local businesses to some degree. So they already have some level of reputation in their area that they're serving. That could be anywhere in the world, but they'll be geographically bound to wherever they can get to serve clients typically. Even the building materials clients, we work with a lot of them, and so they'll ship to certain areas. So they have a level of reputation already. If that's bad, it's going to be incredibly difficult to have successful marketing. But if it's somewhat reasonable reputation, at very bare minimum, a reasonable reputation, we just need to amplify those core messages that people are already saying. So if people, if a company has earned a reputation for quality craftsmanship, that's what we want to lead with the marketing message. We're amplifying what's already successful in the businesses. I don't think there's anywhere to hide anymore, really, particularly in the industries, because as I said, trades and construction, everyone talks, everyone knows who's a good builder in our region. And this is the same no matter where you are. Everyone knows who the good builders are and who might let you down. And so for us, it's a matter of finding those key points of distinction that someone might lean towards choosing a client, a company.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you just have to lean into what you're already doing, keep your reputation clean in real life.
Yeah, that's right. You can't market your way out of a bad reputation anymore, I don't think, but you can certainly amplify a good reputation if you have one. So, yeah, getting all those foundations in place, just little things that sometimes you let slip. My partner, who she had some roofing done a while back, and because we work with trades, the young fellas who were working on the roof left all the screws in the gutter, and they something else needed to be done. I'm not quite sure, but the owner of the business came, and he was on the roof, and he looked down and he saw what his young apprentices had done, left a terrible mess. But he was completely unaware, and it was only the point that he was on the roof at this given time. So these little things that you don't necessarily know about, but could create a bad taste in someone's mouth and bad word of mouth. People could talk about these silly little things that can let a business down. So getting all these things right and in order certainly make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. With the use of AI, do you see everybody kind of going towards the same thing? Like everybody's just becoming the same? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a big part of it too, isn't it? It's that we're sinking in the sea of sameness, it feels like. And that happens when you lean upon the tool to come up with the creative ideas and thought leadership. Mm-hmm. You really want to, if you are using AI, which everyone probably is, if you go to the tool, let's say ChatGPT, because that's the one most people are familiar with, if you go to the tool and just say, hey, I want a piece of content for a newsletter or a web blog page, it's just going to collate a bunch of thoughts that everyone else has already published and put it into something perceived to be new, but it's not really new. It's something that's already been shared a bunch of times, and it's just collated into something somewhat new. But it's not added any value to the world. And so Google and AI itself realized there's nothing of a unique value in this piece, so it's not going to rank very highly in Google, or it's not going to show up. It's not going to build authority the way it would if you were driving the tool. So telling the tool your thoughts and ideas and just using it to massage the piece into something that's more streamlined and more suited to the audience. The way I do it, oftentimes I might be driving around and just have an idea for a blog post, let's say, and I'll just start chatting to my ChatGPT, just some of the random thoughts and ideas. And by the time I get to wherever I'm driving to, all the ideas are sort of collated into a logical sequence, because it's helped me do that. And it's helped me articulate what I want to say in a more meaningful way. And by the time I get to wherever I'm going, there might be a full blog piece ready to publish. So that's me leading the tool, not the other way around. If I just went to the tool and say, hey, write me a blog piece about whatever the topic might be, it'll come out generic and bland. But if it's the other way around, it's me feeding it some unique ideas, you can create something meaningful.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed, and I think this is probably where people are getting sick of the ChatGPT or the AI, because it sounds exactly the same. I can pick out immediately when somebody, and I use it, so I'm not trying to just be like, telling people, I'm better than them by not using Chat, because I am. But, you'll see either a social media post or whatever it is, and you can just immediately pick up on the way that it's written, the words that are used, the structure, everything about it. Like once you started to pick up on it, it's like it's everywhere. And it then becomes just like you shut down. You don't want to listen to the person because you're like, well, you didn't even come up with this idea.
So, you don't even know if anyone even proofread it before they published it half the time. It's frightening in a lot of ways. I think there's a real pushback against that kind of information, and a real desire for us to connect as humans with a real person with ideas and it's almost, in my view, it's kind of like art. So we place a high value on a piece of art if we know the painter. Let's say it's a painting. We know the artist. We know something of their story, and we know it was their brush that touched the canvas with the paint. If there's a replica, if a fraud was to recreate that painting, and it might be just as beautiful, it might be exactly the same to our eye, but there's no value in it because we know it hasn't got that human connection of value of the real artist creating that artwork. So it feels to me like we're searching for that same thing, that we want to know that there was a human involved in this piece to put any value in it. So it's going to be interesting how we move with all these things, because oftentimes it's not detectable. So it's going to create more and more challenges. But I think the real winners are going to be those that can communicate some level of their humanity to the audience. Create something like podcasting like this. People will be able to see it's you and I speaking, and we're not avatars. We're not fake because we're umming and ahhing, and so there's that authenticity, and we're just sharing ideas as a real conversation. I think there's a growing desire for that reality, that imperfect human experience. So I think that's a real way to market a business as well. You don't need to be super polished, but you need to communicate something that's meaningful to your audience.
Do you think AI will learn to then talk like a normal person? Or is that... Probably. It's going to be an ongoing battle, isn't it? And just things are speeding up as well. I mean, I mentioned when I first started in the industry and they'd never designed a website, we only had one computer connected to internet and a dial-up modem on that computer. And so one email address would all share it. This is as I said, an award-winning marketing company. Things changed super fast. So the expectation then, I feel like a real old person when I say these things, but people weren't expecting things immediately because email was a nice to have, but it wasn't something that every business was using all the time. So there was, people weren't expecting a response immediately, but because the tool created a way in which we could respond immediately and send designs to them and so on, a new expectation arose that people wanted things right away. So these days, if you write an email and someone hasn't responded in, half an hour, sometimes people might get upset because they feel as though, hey, why haven't you got my email yet? But we're busy. So I think that speeding up with AI is going to be a challenge as well. People are it raises the bar, and people's expectations will grow to reach that new expectation and standard. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in the next few years. As you're talking, I'm picturing like a game of tag in my head where the AI is the person that's it. And it's like everybody is trying to stay ahead and like zigging and zagging to try to figure out how do you stay just ahead of whatever the AI is doing. And if it's like you get tagged and so now you're behind, and it's like, well, now you have to go find whatever it is that's next to kind of redirect, and it's exhausting in some ways, right? Because it's like you just have to be, you're not always so much doing the work that you are, it's just like trying to stay ahead of whatever is coming behind. And 20, 30 years ago, you might have a year to be like, oh, well, this is coming. We have time to prepare and we can start to like transition into this new thing. And now it's like you could be 2 weeks behind something in the TikTok trends, right? Like this is what the TikTok trends, like if you are a creator that's like creating things based on trends, you have like 2 days max to post something, and then it's moved on. So we are in a world where it's just so fast and everything is expected. Like you just mentioned, like email, I was picturing like sometimes I'll have a client like forward an email and then they'll send me a text a minute later that's like, did you see my email?
Yes. Yes.
It's like, well, if I can see your text, I can see your email, you know?
Yeah. And it's, our attention spans are kind of eroding as well. And I think, it's not my field of expertise, but it certainly sounds to me as though social media and so on has eroded our attention as well. So, marketing is to a large degree fighting for someone's attention so people can know about your business and hopefully potentially buy something from you one day. So, it's just creating new challenges all the time because we're in it daily. It doesn't feel too bad, but I think if I was to stop today and come back in 12 months' time, things would have evolved so fast it would be very difficult to pick up the momentum again. I just don't want to stop. Just got to stay on top of everything that's happening and make the most of opportunities as they arise. And today's opportunities might not be there anymore because there might be something of greater value in the future.
Mm-hmm. So you started basically by building a website. What is your specialty? Are you still doing websites? Like, what's kind of your business's specialty?
Yeah, it's really come. So we've done a lot of things over the years, but it's really for us creating the website as the foundational piece for all the online marketing experience. So it's our view that, we think social media is important, but our goal for social media is to draw people out of social media and into the website. So we want to get people off social media. The social media platforms don't want that to occur. They want to keep people engaged in their platform.
Competing goals here.
Yeah, that's right. So there's challenges there, but it's for us, get people off social media into the website because that's the territory you control. The message is all yours. There's less distraction. But the goal for the website is to get people off the website. And where do we want them? In a human conversation. Because in my view, that's where the best work is won and the best sales are done. So the creating those human connections, it's all for us a matter of putting out opportunities to be found so someone can start to know, like, and trust you and create a human connection. And, if, as I said before, if you're investing in anything that's more than a impulse buy, if you're selling a $10 widget, well, sell it online. There's no need for human interaction. But if you're selling something of higher stakes and higher cost, people want to have a conversation with a real human. So for us, all our marketing messages, just because of who our clients are, it's all about creating human connections.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what all is involved? So when you're saying you want to pull people off of social media, how are you doing that? Like, what is the process to get people onto your website?
Yeah, well, it is difficult because, as I said, they don't really want that to occur because let's say you post something on Facebook, and if you put a link in the post to your website, well, Facebook just won't show many people because their goal is different to yours. They're just wanting people engaged for as long as they possibly can be in their in the Facebook, for example. So you've got to be clever about it. So you can do that from time to time to link through to your website, but it's about creating lots and lots of touch points. For me, I do lots of podcasting, so I host my own show as well. So making reels, so they're constantly seeing my face and hearing my voice and almost starting to know who I am to a degree, so that they're wanting to find out more. So they're wanting to find out who is this guy and what's he up to. So they're hearing the company name, they're hearing my name. Hopefully one day when they have a need, they search for my name or the company name, whatever they remembered, and they'll come and Google for it or find it however they need to find it. So it's you've got to work around the tools in which how their algorithms work. So you've got to be sensible about it all.
Mm-hmm. Are you finding that podcasting is, well, so I always use the example, like I use YouTube as my TV. Like I have people that I watch that are like my TV shows, right? Like it's,
Yeah.
and podcasting is somewhat come into that because it's a lot of video now instead of just the audio. So are you seeing people listening to podcasts or watching podcasts as a form of, kind of a form of their digital media as well? And is that a growing sector?
Yeah, absolutely. And they don't need to be, I've got a client, the videos don't need to be super polished, as I said before. Just the content, if it's useful for somebody and it's really niched and specific, then you will get the right people watching it. This client, he videos himself in his truck doing work, and I don't know if safety-wise he should be doing it, but he does. And he'll just be explaining what he's up to and why he's doing what he's doing and how he's maneuvering difficult scenarios and explaining it. And so I always had a challenge really understanding what he did, because he doesn't like to talk too much, but he and it's kind of a specific thing that I don't know anyone else doing exactly what he does. But he started doing these videos and posting them on YouTube, and his traffic through to the website just went through the roof. And there's just so many people watching. He swears through the videos. He's a really a rough kind of trades kind of person, but it's suited to his market. It's just fine for his market. But what we were able to do with those videos is take the transcript, because all of a sudden there's some substance behind his message, and for me to understand what it is. And so we've created some prompts for him to create a blog post out of the transcript from the YouTube videos. So he's just doing the videos as he's working anyway, so it's not a massive time investment for him. But from that, we can create really polished blog posts that are all different, because, as you said before, AI will just create generic information. But if this is leaning upon a specific case study and story, an example, then it's unique to him, and only he has shared that story. Yes, the AI has polished it into a blog. We removed the swearing from his videos, and we put it into a format that's more meaningful for the format. But it's his traffic went through the roof. He's winning some pretty significant clients now, and it's a reasonably new business. So he just emailed the other day of a couple of the clients that have come on board that are, I won't say his company, but they're really large, recognised Australian brands. So I thought, man, this guy's onto a winner. And that all came from those quick and dirty videos of him in his truck doing the work. So I think a lot of us are scared to do the videos for YouTube or wherever you want to post them, because we don't think we can make a really polished video. But it's not necessarily important. The message is important, and showing somebody what it is. It might be how to do something, or even just letting people in on your world to a degree, so they can start to see who you are as a person. I think it's really helpful.
Mm-hmm. So you've mentioned blog posts a couple of times, and now I was always a big blog reader, 10 years ago. But it seems like that's kind of fallen off, or at least in the way that I'm thinking of blogs, right? Like people writing personal blogs and things like that. So is that still a way that you can, is it SEO? Are people just going to websites still to read blog posts? Like, what is there still a benefit of doing that?
Absolutely. And there's a slightly different way of thinking about it. So we do it a lot for our clients who want to optimize for search engines and to show up in AI as well, simply because it's a form of content that's fresh. So Google will always like something that's perceived to be new and unique. So it's a great way of publishing fresh, unique content regularly to your website. And the way to think about it is no one's going to read every post that you ever publish. And some of it might be kind of bland. Like, I mean, we're working on trades. And so even I did this as well. So I had a plumbing issue. So I just started searching for a fix to the solution to see if I could fix it myself. I couldn't find that. I found what the issue was, but I realized I couldn't fix it myself. And I was using ChatGPT, hey, who's the very best, who might be able to serve me in my region, and up popped a company. So I realized that information was gleaned from a blog post about the very specific thing. So, and that's exactly what we're doing for clients. So you write the blog post, and it's only going to be addressing a specific, whatever it is, for a few potential readers who need that thing at that time. But it's not just for the reader of the blog itself, but it's fuel for AI. So it's a way in which you can educate AI about your company and what you do and how you go about it. So not only might you show up in Google search results, your business and brand might be mentioned in ChatGPT, for example. So that's the beauty. So you're writing the content, yes, for human readers. That's always important. But it's a easily digestible form of content for AI to understand as well. So you've got the potential to show up there too.
Okay, so you need to think about writing for our AI overlords too, right? Making sure that they direct.
Yeah, they're almost like gods, aren't they? So I watch YouTube as well, and sometimes you end up in some strange ideas out there about what's going on in AI, and I won't go too far into that. But yeah, there's a lot of fun conspiracy theories out there.
Yes, I'm sure we could go down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole.
Yeah,
AI has probably been around for 50 years, and we are just now seeing it, right? So
yeah. We're in a simulation. That's I don't know. Let's not go there.
I know. Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so Wes, I appreciate everything that we've been talking about. But if somebody, first of all, do you work with companies worldwide? Because
absolutely. Even you'll see a few brands, international brands on our homepage that we've worked with recently. So uplift360.com.au is the website, and people can book strategy calls there as well if they want to. So as you say, so we serve people all around the world. So happy to chat those free strategy calls as well.
Mm-hmm. I would think that the nice thing about marketing is it's kind of the same no matter where you're at in the world, right? You got the same tools and the same human psychology that's working in the marketing. So
yeah, I think so. I think that, well, all the I guess the English speaking nations we're kind of similar, because we're kind of watching the same, we have the same influences, we watch all the programs from around the world here in Australia. So I think the world feels as though it's getting smaller to a degree.
For sure. Okay. Or you mentioned your website again. Do you have anything else anything you're promoting or anything you would like to offer to the guests you mentioned a discovery call. You also mentioned a podcast. What is the name of your podcast?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, the podcast Built, Trusted, Chosen. It's only launched this year, so it's been fantastic, I've been a guest on a lot of shows over probably the last 12 months. I've been on many shows and thought, well, man, I could try my own, and it's a different experience. So I think I'm getting better at it, the hosting piece. But it's been a whole lot of fun. The guests have been wonderful. Some really good ideas in there. It's for the trades and construction industry, and it's there's no editing or anything. It's just as it is. Two of us having a conversation around what's happening in the world and in the trades and construction, and it's crazy times, as you know. with what's going on, and supply chain, and building materials, and a whole bunch of things that disrupt things. So yeah, the conversations have been really worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. And where can people find that podcast?
Yeah, all the platforms really. Built, trusted, chosen. Spotify, Apple. It goes to YouTube Live, and it goes to LinkedIn Live. So Uplift 360. If people are onto LinkedIn, that might be the best way to find it. The live, or YouTube, you can subscribe. Uplift 360 as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Wes. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure we could continue talking about AI, and it's over.
Yeah, I know. But it's been brilliant, Jen. I should have you on my show at some stage as well, if you're open to it.
Awesome. I know. I love podcasting. It's such a fun way to meet people you would never meet otherwise, right? Like, it's just their connection, and you can just dive into much deeper topics than if you just met somebody on the street and have to get to know them first.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Wes. It's a pleasure. And thank you to our listeners for tuning into this episode of The Financial Operator. We'll see you next time.